All right, let's bring in Leo Terrell, civil rights attorney and a Fox News contributor. I want to play a little bit more of what those students had to say at that Capitol Hill event. Listen here.
Dirty Jew, monster, colonizer, child killer. These are the names we are given at Stanford.
Jews at Rutgers are afraid.
MIT has become overrun by terrorist supporters that directly threaten the lives of Jews on our campus.
The situation at Harvard is so bad that we really only had two options. One was to come here, which we are doing, and the other was to hold them account in a court of law.
So the type of language and treatment that they're reflecting there, Leo, really takes us back to a very dark period in our history. And we don't even know if there's any sanctions for talk like that at these college campuses.
You're absolutely right. This reminds me of something that occurred in this world 75 years ago. Let me be very clear, John. Those students are telling the truth. They're telling the absolute truth, but I want to be very clear as a lawyer. I know what's going on. Harvard's not going to turn over the documents at 5 o'clock. You know why? Because Joe Biden's Department of Justice, Joe Biden's Department of Education is basically going to sit on their hands because Michigan is more important. The Democratic Party is split, John. There's a pro-Palestinian wing that is basically preventing Jewish students from being protected. They're not going to get protection because that subpoena is going to go and expire, and there's going to be a contempt motion filed, and it's going to be referred to the Department of Justice. They're not going to do anything, John Roberts.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens with that subpoena, but we should just give a little bit of background for folks at home who might not be familiar with it. A few weeks ago, I guess, the Health and Education, Labor and Pensions Committee, led by Virginia Fox, subpoenaed Harvard for documents related to minutes of meetings that the board was having, also any discipline that was handed out to people who engaged in anti-Semitic behavior or speech. They received back some 2,400 documents from Harvard, but not what they were looking for. So that's why they say that they're going to go after this with all the vigor that they can there in Congress. But in terms of the hate speech that these Jewish students are experiencing, it's not just at Harvard or at Berkeley. Let's put up a list of some of these top colleges where this seems to be pervasive. It's Harvard University, University of Pennsylvania, MIT, Columbia, Stanford, University of California, Berkeley, Rutgers, Tulane, Cooper Union. That's where all of these students were from. And to a person, they're citing the same sort of language, the same sort of threats, the same sort of fear that they have about just being on campus. How did we get to this point, Leo?
John, what has happened is simply this. Title VI of the Civil Rights Act states public and private universities that receive federal funding, and these universities receive federal funding. They're required to protect all students, regardless of race, religion, protected class status. They have an obligation. They have failed to do so. Why? Let's be very clear. Look at all these protests going on in this country. They are well-financed, pro-Palestinian financing campaigns. Follow the money. Follow what type of money is influencing these universities. Let's be very clear. Virginia Fox asked for documents to see if these universities are protecting students. They want to see if there's been investigation. They refuse to turn them over. That should tell you something. And what documents are being requested are being denied, solely because there is no desire by these universities to protect Jewish students. And that's why these students are in harm's way.
You know, I was showing a lot of pictures of protests here at Harvard University, but last week we had on a couple of students from Berkeley who had to run and hide after anti-Israel protesters stormed the building where they had invited an Israeli attorney who was also a reservist in the IDF to speak. One of those students that had to run, Sharon Noffelman, said this to NBC News, quote, "Is this 1938-39 Germany, Nazi Germany, where I have to hide because my safety is at risk?" I mean, there's a large Jewish population in this country. It's the biggest Jewish population outside of Israel. And in fact, I think it's even bigger than that in Israel. But what does it say about society where people feel like they're living in Nazi Germany or Poland or wherever prior to World War II?
It says that some people in this country, some people, unfortunately, have deprioritized the importance of protecting the Jewish community. I'm going to be very honest and very blunt. If those individuals were of a particular color, like my skin color, that wouldn't happen. That would not happen. But it's happening because they're Jewish. Period. Plain and simple. And the Biden administration is looking the other way. Those subpoenas will fall on deaf ears because the Department of Justice and the Department of Education is controlled by Joe Biden, and Joe Biden is more concerned with winning Michigan. The Jewish community needs to be protected like everyone pursuant to the Civil Rights Act of 1964.
Yeah, you know, one of the big demands that Kamala Harris was making was for an immediate ceasefire in Israel. A lot of critics say that's more about Michigan than it is about Gaza. We'll be talking to Dan Hoffman about that coming up. Leo, good to see you. Good to get your thoughts. Thank you, my friend.
Thank you, my friend.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.